Good evening, art buddies, and welcome to Bricolage with Pink Girly. I'm on early this evening. I know Beth is on. I apologize. I don't think Beth would have a problem, but we're having a tremendous storms here right now, so I'm trying to get a little stream in before I possibly lose my power. So I thought I would just come on early and see what happens. And if no one is available, that's fine too. Then it's just, hey, there's Angela. It's just going to be a video then. We just started having torrential downpours. My husband and I were listening to the weather, and I couldn't believe what they're predicting for our area. And I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if I should just maybe try to scoot on a little bit early. So that's what I've decided to do. And, I think I'm coming to realize that once you get into this live streaming thing, you kind of, hey, Peggy, hi. Thunder there too. Man, it is pouring here and thunder. I think I really don't like to be on when others are on that I know personally. Well, not maybe know personally, but that I hang out with online or whatever. And I really hate to do that, but I think at some point you have to make a decision to do what works for your life, your family, and your body clock, really. And gosh, I'm a night owl, but I don't know that I can. I don't know that I have really a sense of consciousness anymore in the late hours. I stay up late, but I don't know. I don't know that the evening stream thing. I know I've heard Beth say many, many times that she doesn't mind. She's very gracious. And I know that won't be a problem. But this was just kind of spur of the moment. And I was thinking I could do like the later hours, but you know what? I'll tell you what, I'm just beat to the socks. And that's just the way that's just the way it is. So listen, I'm going to kind of jump right in, and if others can join us, that'd be great. But there's a gal on YouTube. Her channel name is well, she is on YouTube. But she's got an Etsy shop, and she is on Instagram, and she calls herself ThreeBirdsLane. So I will link her in my description box. I didn't do that ahead of time because I kind of started to run out of time. I said to my husband, I'm going to pop on real early and see if I can beat, maybe the weather as far as I think we're going to lose our power. The lights have already been flickering. So if I disappear, you'll know that that's why. So this gal, she makes amazing journals. You're hard pressed to try to get one. As soon as she posts them, they're gone. And she uses Reader's Digest. Now, some of you that will join me this evening, I know you know what I know you know what I'm talking about, but maybe for some of the replayers, they don't. So I pulled out one of my Reader's Digest. I remember my mom reading these. I'm talking about the Reader's Digest condensed series or version or whatever. It's condensed stories. There's usually several stories in one edition. I'm feeling okay. I've been checking on blood pressure and all that jazz. I think most, thank you for asking. I think it's mostly really kind of my nerves. My stress level is a little high. But this is one, and you'll often see a nicely decorated, and you can see this one had some damage here, unfortunately. A little patterned maybe cover, and they kind of have this solid spine. I've got one that's like Christmassy. It's really cool. And one that kind of looks like Paris kind of look. And, I've got all different ones. And there's some patterns you'll see they're a little more readily available to kind of pick up. And some of them are just plain. There might be a beautiful deep purple or burgundy or a chocolate brown or a dark green. But they're a nice sized book. And of course, they have, really nice paper inside that you can fiddle around with and do things with. But most of us in this junk journal world, we take the inside out and use the cover to make a journal. And Susan is the name of the gal that is the ThreeBirdsLane channel. She uses all different kinds of covers. Well, this is one series she used that I was able to... Oh, sorry, guys. I just knocked my... See, I don't pull everything down. I don't think about everything I'm going to say. And then one thing leads to another. And then I have an avalanche. An avalanche over my paper towels. And Susan uses a lot of different books. So she uses this Bunny Brown and Sister Sue quite a bit. I was able to get one. And she does amazing things with her journals. And so this is one I was able to get a hold of. Now, I took my tassel off to show you this. She always puts a dangle of some kind. I guess I shouldn't say tassel. A dangle of some kind on her journals. Let me just clip this back on. And, she does wonderful work. Her books are just scrumptious. They really are scrumptious. And sometimes she'll have a flip out, or a flip up or a pocket on the front. She does all kinds of stuff. But recently, one of the things that she uploaded was a small journal that looks like a Reader's Digest journal. So I immediately said to Jacqueline, "Oh my gosh, I gotta try to make one of those." I mean, it's so adorable. As soon as she lists her things, they're sold. I mean, you can't believe how fast this lady's things sell. So I'm assuming she built the small, because I've never seen a small Reader's Digest. Now, I've seen them where they're narrower. I have one that I've been painting in, but it's about this size, but it doesn't have as many pages or as many stories in it, I guess. Let's see. So they're about, 5.5 by 7.5, I think. Yeah, maybe 7 3/4. So where's my other one? I just had it the other day. But oh yeah, there it is. Well, I don't see it, but it's the same size as this, but it's just not as chubby. But the one that Susan recently posted looked like it would fit in the palm of your hand. So I thought, well, what would it take to make one, to create one? I thought all I need is some kind of like chipboard, some kind of paper that could mimic that Reader's Digest look. And then I could really just use fabric to make the spine. So I worked one up this morning, and I'm going to show it to you. And then I printed off some other paper to just walk you through. It's very simple. I'm sure most of you have done something like this in the past. It's just an idea to maybe capture the look of a mini Reader's Digest. So this is my cover. So I just have a digital that I printed out this paper, and then I just put some fabric on the back. Now, of course, I don't have any pages for this yet. And I'm going to probably use this for my inside covers. Once I get, pages and a spine in here. But for tonight's purposes, it's just to show you that you can make something that looks pretty close to a Reader's Digest, right? I mean, once you get some pages in there, now this isn't going to be a huge one. I was going to use some different fabric and I wasn't quite sure that I liked it, and I had this sitting on my desk, so I decided to use it and I like it much better. But it was only that wide, so it's not going to allow me for too much in the way of pages, but that's okay. Right? So be cute. And then Susan a lot of times will put, of course, I guess maybe there's some high-end Reader's Digest books that might have corners on them, these like metal corners. So I have a couple of these, and I thought, well, won't this look cute if I can get it on the right way? Won't it look cute with corners on it? So I'm planning to put corners on, because my corners, you can see down here, is not real exact. So, oh, here's a different one. Thanks, Angela. This one I might have to fiddle with to get it on, because I've got an extra lump of paper there that I didn't really trim. Oh, this one's kind of squished. Well, I don't want to tear my paper up. That one's kind of squished. But I think it'll look cute. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do this evening, as long as my power holds out. And it's really quite easy and really won't take very long, you know. So what I did was, I have some chipboard type material available to me. So I cut some pieces of that, but you could really get away with a nice, like, say, cracker box or a cereal box, and just cut it to the size that you want. I just happened to end up with this size, which is about 4 inches by 5, 4 by 5. So who doesn't love a cute little journal? So then I pulled out and printed off another sheet of a digital. Now, if you don't have a digital, I would think you could use any scrapbook paper you would have laying around. You could use wrapping paper. You could create your own, you know, if you had some brown paper or computer paper, you could print, stamp. You might have some painting papers laying around. You could use fabric, right? You could use really anything that you wanted. It's just that you might want to use something that kind of gives you the impression of, or the idea of, the style of the Reader's Digest books. So I just chose this because it was different from the other one that I picked. And I have my printer set to print and bleed out to the edge, and you can see it does not listen. I've set it and reset it, and it just won't listen. So I'm going to trim that off. I guess I don't have to, because that's going to be on the inside. These are my little boards that I cut earlier, and they're about the same size as the ones I just showed you. This one's a little smaller. So this is about 3 3/4 by 5. But there again, you know, you may not want something this small. You know, a 4 by 6 would be nice. A 6 by 8 would be nice. And then, of course, you're getting a little bigger. And I decided, when I first printed my first paper, I thought, oh, I'll just cut it and glue it on the front. And then I thought, oh, well, then my edges are going to look tacky. So then, of course, it occurred to me, well, just make it bigger and wrap it, you know, like we did scrapbook things years ago, right? So that's what we're going to do. I just printed the one because I can get 2 of these out of the one sheet of paper. So it's 8.5 by 11. And just for my own sake, this was my printer kept saying there was a paper jam, and then I had to open up the back and do all that jazz, and then it ended up printing a report on my good presentation paper. Well, I wasn't going to throw this down. So this is what I did earlier. You may not need to do this. This is just me. And I'm just eyeballing it. I'm going to make myself a little square here that I can plop my little cover in. Actually, I could really go down here. And I've got these pens that if I put heat on, the ink just disappears. And I marked mine earlier, just in case they're a little off from each other. I don't know, probably doesn't matter. I think I'm thinking about it too much. It's not that hard. Well, it's hard for me to think, but that's not that hard to do. So I'm going to make this 2. And now I want to make sure that I leave, a little bit around that box because I want to be able to wrap the paper around these little boards. Now, earlier I used my Golden Matte Medium, which I probably will do again. If I had tape in my tape runner, I probably would use that because I did have a little trouble with some buckling. I just used a credit card to really mash it down and spread it out so I could kind of work out those wrinkles. So I'm just trimming off the excess because I don't need all that. And, I can use that little bits for whatever. Or I can, force myself to throw it away. So what I did on the first one was, and you may have a different way of doing it. Now you can miter your corners, but I find that works better with fabric for me than with paper. So I didn't miter them in that. I have this little tool. It's usually right here that I can put on the corner of my paper. I didn't pull it out. It's usually always right here. Jacqueline said to me earlier today, you just need to get organized. I said, I am organized. I just don't put anything away. That's my problem. I'm just like a big old slob. I don't put anything away. I've shown this to you before. You can get them on Amazon. I got mine from Johnny because when I saw her use it or she was selling them or something, I had never seen it before. And it's just a little clear piece of plastic that sits on the corner. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I pushed it back. See, it's just this. It's just this little doohickey. And so once I would glue this onto my, oh, the dog's starting to bark with the thunder. Then you just put your book in the corner and you draw your line, and that's where you would cut your paper or your fabric. And it just gives you enough to fold your paper or fabric around and get a nice corner. But for me, this time I just snipped a square, and it worked out okay for me. And then I just angled these off. I'm just eyeballing it. That's why I think I got that one corner so a little chunky. it's almost like it's got a little hangnail. And if you angle these in a little bit, you usually get a nicer finish. Of course, the dog has to go out when it's storming. Okay, so that's board number 2. And then got all my little bits. I should have drawn this out a little better. I think it'll be okay. Now, when I first started in scrapbooking and in this world of journaling, this is the way I used to make my covers. I didn't use book covers that I gutted, books that I gutted. I just used scrapbook paper and, cereal boxes or chipboard that I came across. Now, our daughter is a 4th grade teacher. When she gets her books at the beginning of the year, in between each book was this beautiful piece of chipboard, and she was just going to throw it away. I said, oh my goodness. And then her husband spied it. He said, yeah, I'd like to have some of that too. So I haven't asked her in the last couple of years, but we were sharing it there for a while. Really nice. She was just, going to toss it. I should ask her to ask her grade partners for theirs as well. They probably all just throw it away. The silicone mat, I forgot to put my other thing on top, and I have a hard time picking up that paper, getting it out of the way. All right, so, oh, good grief. It's almost like I glued it down. So that's my number 1. And then I have my little silicone spreader. And I'm going to put a little glue on both sides. Dee Dee said that usually works better. I've got my gold matte medium in here. So I'm just going to glue this down and then give it a chance to set up just a little bit, and then I'm going to fold up my sides. So I'm just putting some here, and I'm going to spread it around, and then the excess I'm going to put on the back of the paper. Now, if I was going to use fabric, I would use my Fabri-Tac glue, which is a pain to spread out, but I like the way that it holds fabric down. So, just get a little here. You could use a brush, you could use your finger. This little silicone spreader is very flexible and works pretty good. All right. My screen's starting to flash. Hopefully I won't lose my connection. All right, so I'm just going to take a credit card, gift card kind of thing. Flip this over. Yes, I can feel a couple little bumpity bumps there. Now, if you have a brayer, you could use a brayer, but I'm just going to use this card and just kind of mash it and spread my paper, push my paper, trying to get out any air bubbles. I start from the center out. Say I had a lot of extra glue. And just clean that up with baby wipe. I'll do the back of this one. Now, I haven't thought about what fabric I might like to use for this. Oh, heavens, look what I did. I picked up the wrong tool with my little spreader. So what's everybody else up to? I stayed up and watched the Phillies game last night. That was a disappointment. Oh my goodness. They're on the West Coast, so it was a late game. Not good. It was not good. All right, we're going to put that down. Just want to hold it for a few seconds, so it attaches enough where you can flip it over and then work out your air bubbles. Gotta find another. All my plastic cards here are kind of grungy. I think I'm going to have to break down and put them in the sink. Give them a scrub. Now, I guess some paper you could maybe see some wrinkles and some blemishes. This is hard to see. So I was just feeling it with my fingers. You can kind of tell where you have it. Not too bad. Then I like to use my bone folder to fold up my edges. Now, certainly, if you weren't doing a live streaming, you're just working on your own, I would let this dry a lot longer. So I'm just going to try to start working this. Oh my goodness, you are? Oh, that's nice. Hi, Teresa. And so then what I like to do is just take my bone folder and really press that up against, the cardboard or the cereal box or whatever you're using as your base. Kind of get that started. Now I'm going to switch to, I have this, I found this in my stash. I didn't realize I had it. This Aleene's tacky glue, clear tacky glue. I'm going to use that to glue down my flaps. And then I have these little clippy things I just was able to get my hands on. So I've been using those to hold down the sides. I'll get a couple of these out. I popped on early, Teresa, because we're having a storm and I'm thinking I'm going to lose my power. So, all right, so I'm going to use this I thought maybe Jacqueline would be in, but she probably got held up doing some stuff. That's probably way too much. Oh, there's Kel. Oh, sorry, Kel. Yeah, I didn't think about. I kind of went last minute because we're getting a storm, and I'm trying to beat the possibility of us losing power. Hi, Lamont. And I'm going to clip these down while they dry, hopefully. Yeah, the lights were flickering. Just all of a sudden, it got really dark. We were listening to the weather forecast, and I was really quite surprised at the storms that they said were headed our way. And sure enough, it got real dark. Peggy said she's got thunder where she is as well. Seems like it's headed to the East Coast here. So I knew Beth wouldn't mind, and I had everything ready, so I just popped on early. I didn't tell Jacqueline either. She probably doesn't know either. Oh well. It is what it is. I planned two things tonight to do two things. In my other project, I don't have everything lined up and together, but I think I could manage. So I'm just pressing this down, giving it a good press so I get a nice stick. And see, I'm just pressing my bone folder up against the edge of that board. Okay, Angela. Angela's multitasking. Just kind of pinching those corners. Add some more glue here. So if you're just popping in, I'm trying to recreate the look of a Reader's Digest cover, but a small version. This is only, I think, 3 3¾ by 5. The one I did earlier was more like 4 by 5. See, I'm just getting that one edge there where I'm not trimming it properly. It could be because I didn't have my lines drawn very well. But I'm not too concerned because I have those little book corners that I plan to use. I'll straighten that right up. And you could hold this down. Oh, that's not too shabby. So then here's the other one. So I'm just starting. Now, if your paper is real heavy duty and stiff, you just want to work it real gentle till you can get it where it's going to, start bending in for you. And I find that if I really press my bone folder up against the side, I can get a pretty nice crease there. So instead of mitering the corners, which you also can do, that would be you just trim off real close to the corner, straight across like that. I have my little tool here. I could go like this and then, I'm pretty close. Trim my paper. but I just cut out a chunk and then angled. It works pretty good. Let's give it a couple more clips. Two, four. I'm trying to think if I have I don't think I do. I think I've got suede, a piece of suede, but I don't think I have any leather. A piece of leather or faux leather might look cute on this cover, huh? Don't think I have any of that. Let's see right here. This paper could get crushed in there. This is presentation paper, so it's really kind of, yeah, leather would be cool. It's really kind of stiff. I wonder where I have that piece of. I have a piece of green suede. I never thought about buying like an old handbag, and taking that apart. The suede is from a handbag. So I'm yawning already. I got a little tiny bit of a nap, not much. I try to take a little nap if I'm going to stream on Tuesday nights. But that didn't happen. And for some reason, oh my gosh, it's really coming down. For some reason, I was up super early this morning. Of course, it's been so humid here. You know how like you go outside and like smacks you in the face? It's just so humid. So all that's got to go somewhere, I guess, right? I think I need a new or cleaner baby wipe. So I'm just using some tacky glue that I found in my stash. I could use the white glue, but I find it takes the white glue a little longer to, stay where I put it. Where this clear glue, like the tacky glue or the Faber-Tac, kind of sticks down a little quicker. Oh, really, Kel? Oh, 75%? Oh, excuse me. It's so humid. It's so humid. All right, so I didn't know what I wanted to have for dinner. And then I remembered I had a piece of tomato left over from our garden in the fridge. And earlier I had watched a reel. This older Italian gentleman was making a sandwich, and he said, "Don't eat too much meat in this summer." And he took an eggplant. Now, I'm not a fan of eggplant, but this eggplant was shaped different. It wasn't like, if you're familiar with an eggplant, at least the ones that my dad used to grow, it looked kind of like a big teardrop, kind of, the narrow at the top, wider at the bottom. This man, his was round, and he cut two really big slabs of eggplant. He salted both sides. I remember my mom used to do that before she would bread it and cook it. salt and pepper. And then he put olive oil down. And I think he put garlic on his, fresh garlic. He had spring onions that he threw in the pan. He had little tiny like cherry tomatoes that he put in. Maybe some onion, maybe some purple onion. I forget all what he put in that pan with the eggplant. And then, of course, he had a nice slice of like a crusty bread. And so he had olive oil in his pan. I got a little bit of a buckle there. And he started to cook that eggplant. Here I am talking about food again. So we cooked the eggplant and turned it over, and just kept cooking that until it got soft. And then he took that off the heat and the rest of the vegetables. And then he put more olive oil in his pan. And he put his bread in there in the pan and toasted his bread in the olive oil. And then he built the sandwich. And he had some kind of cheese. I forget what kind of cheese he used. And then made like a grilled. Oh my gosh, it looked so good. And I thought, well, I could do that with that tomato. I had some sourdough bread. Of course, I didn't have the spring onions or any of that jazz. But I used some garlic powder. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I just did a half Sammy. And my bread got nice and I never grilled bread in olive oil before. Oh my gosh, it turned out really good. So I said to my husband, I wish we had another tomato. We got a couple more out there that are just about ready to pick. So I'll probably be having another sandwich. All right, I'm just looking at my fabric drawer and see if I can. It was just in here. I don't really remember seeing that piece of suede. Let's see what I have in here. I haven't been in this box in a little while. Just put that out of the way. It's in here. I think I got Tim Holtz stuff in here. Oh, that's kind of cool. Of course, I don't think it would look very Reader's Digest-ish. Color-wise, the coloring of that would work. This is feed sack. Some of this stuff, that's too green. That would have looked good on my other one. Oh, I like this fabric, but I coffee stained this. Oh, okay, Cal, I'll look. I didn't see it. And that's too close, I think. And not enough of a contrast. That's too soft. I'm just looking for that fabric that would be just right. How's the swap going, Kel? Is everybody when was the deadline? Did we pass the deadline? Sometimes the reader's side just have a lighter cover. I mean spine. That's kind of cool, but the problem with this is, you know, it have all that. I mean, I don't need a spine that thick, that wide. I could cut it and sew it, but that's just not going to happen. It's just not. It's just not. I don't think I want dungaree. Nothing's really speaking to me. It's not too bad, but I like my first cover. Okay, this is the one I did before, earlier today. But I don't know what I might like on this one. I don't think I have much in the way of browns, or definitely not leather. I did have a wallet that I took apart. Oh, let me put this back. See, this is what I do. I don't put stuff back. This may look okay. Of course, it's got to be crazy. Some of the problem is I have too many choices. Some of the All right, swap went great. Deadline was the 4th. Oh, yeah, I couldn't remember. But you're allowing an extra week because it was a holiday. Oh, okay. Teresa thought it was the 15th. Oh, yeah. Oh, Teresa. Okay. Now, see, this I might want to stitch this so I have a nicer edge. So maybe I'll use this. I could cut it here. What do you think about this? I mean, I could keep looking, but I don't think there's any need for me to keep looking tonight. But you get the idea. So I'd have to trim this out. This would go like this. I might have some coffee stain stuff too that might look nicer. I don't know why I picked out this paper, but I just kind of thought it was cool. This one's darker. Oh, look, I got glue there. Now, see, I'm not liking that. Well, that'll be the back. That'll be the back. This is still really damp. I just got from one of the sales, it's in a plastic Ziploc bag. I'm not sure where I put it. And it's a darker, I think it's a darker plaid. That might look cool here. But I think I could get away with this green. What do you think? That could work. I think that could work. And then I printed this. I was thinking I could use this for the inside. Might be kind of fun. So I just have to figure out what I'm going to use for pages. That's all. Just have to figure out what I'm going to use for pages. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I can iron and stitch. I mean, mostly I like a raw edge, but I think in this case, I might like to have a finished edge. Glue that down. I really could just even do this double. That might be nice. I don't want to glue these together. So that's how that's going to work. So I think I accomplished my goal. This is the first one I did. Now I don't want to put my book corners on yet because I have to put my pages in and then cover the inside, and then I'll put my little metal corners on, and I think this will turn out really cute. So I need papers that measure not go with the ruler, but I'm going to do it anyway. Got to hold it the right way. So that's going to go in about there. So maybe 4 inches by 4.5, 4 by 4.5. And I just saw some green paper I got from get these up. So maybe I could use that paper and go with its cover. Okay, Cal. Now this is where I struggle in figuring out how to get the most out of my paper for the size that I want to use, that I need to use. Teresa, did you make your tome? Oh, she's on the phone. Oh no, Kel's on the phone. I was thinking about making another tome. I found some more lunch bags. All right, so I want 4. So it's 8.5 by 11. So I want 4 by 4.5. So some of these have, do they all have holes? No. Let's put the holy ones. Let's put the holy ones aside. So if I do 4, oh, you know what I have to do? No, see, I'm going to cut them all wrong. I need them to be this way because I have to fold them. Almost made a mistake. So I want about 7 3/4 because I can always trim it, right? If I make it 7, it's going to be too short. 7.5. By the time I fold it. So let's try one page. Let's put that up there. Put this up there. This color green, I think, is going to work good. A little dark, but I could pull out some other papers and add light to it. All right, so I got to put the arm out. That's the only problem with this little. And I'm going to do a 4-inch cut. And the words are going to be, do I care about the words? Let's do it this way. Let's do 7 3/4 here. That doesn't seem right. I'm so bad at measuring, you cannot even imagine. It's gonna be a little short, huh? That was 7 3/4. So then I want it to be 4.5, I think I said. And then 4.5. This reminds me of pea soup. I could go for some pea soup. I'm not sure this is the right size. Can you guys hear that thunder? Yeah, I think that might be okay. All right, so let's do it over again. We need some more wiggle room here. All right, let's see if I can do a couple of sheets at a time. I did 7 3/4. Probably could be. I could have probably just left this at 8.5, but 7 3/4. It still doesn't look right to me. And then I did 4.5, I think. 4.5. And she's back. Well, welcome back. All right, 4.5. I think Jacqueline's going to be upset. She probably doesn't know more. Oops. Oops. Seven 3/4. Four and oops. This is nowhere near enough pages, but I'll have to pull some regular coffee stained or something out of my stash. I got a blasting headache. Uh, yeah, I'm going to need more than that. But this will give me this will give me an idea of how it will look, I think. Now these are Jacqueline makes dyed papers. These papers that Debbie makes, I think these are like our painty. They feel like painty papers. So the texture's a little different. Put this up here. What time is it? Well, Jacqueline's usually in bed by now anyway. That one got crooked. That's really crooked. That's not much better. So I'm going to put in my description box the name of the channel where I saw this little mini Reader's Digest. If you want to check out her channel, ThreeBirdsLane. The lady's name is Susan that creates the journals. Hey, Candy. I don't know I'm going to be on much longer. I've got to take something for this headache. Methinks. How you doing today, Candy? Does this crazy weather wreak havoc for you? Or it doesn't matter? You know, I think I'll probably attach these to a board so I can make my spine a little more sturdy. I'm not sure I just want a cloth spine. Although I guess it would be okay. I think I might cut some papers on my bigger, my bigger board. A little better. I'm learning to control it. Oh, that's wonderful. That's good news. Excellent. All right, so here's some pages to start with. And this is the one I worked on tonight. Like, I can still feel this is, cool to the touch. She's still in a lot of pain. I did pray for her. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I just have to decide what fabric I want to use to make the spine for this one. And then I'm going to put the little metal corners on, and I'm going to add some more pages, of course, to this one. It might be a little better this way. This was just a little short, this fabric. So I think that's all I'm going to do tonight, guys. Just been on an hour. It's still rumbling and raining here. And I feel like I'm getting all stuffy. I've got a headache. I think I'm just going to call it a night. I just wanted to show you this idea of a little mini Reader's Digest. And that's pretty easy. Oh, you're just getting it now, Candy? Mm-hmm. You like the first green? What, this cover, Teresa? Yeah, I think I'm going to put this. This is going to be a green. I think I'm going to put this in here. But I'm also going to add some plain pages, that maybe your coffee dyed. And then maybe do a couple little pockets or something. So, yeah, I'm trying not to take too much like headache medicine and stuff because they say it's not good for your stomach. And I already have issues there. So I try to hold out, but it's probably because of the weather in combination. It was solid. Oh, this one? Yeah, hi, Ange. This is, I don't know what it looks like on your screen, but for me, it's more like a brown, gold color. So this is just digital paper that I printed off and then wrapped it around the chipboard type paper. I guess that should go that way. All right, so Beth is probably still on, guys, because it's early. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I know I was on early. But I really wanted to try to get on before I think it's a good chance we might lose our electricity for a little bit tonight. Hopefully not for too long. So I thought I would just scoot on early. So that's really kind of all I have. I have another thing planned, but I don't think my head will handle it this evening. So I'm just going to go relax. And I suggest you all do the same. Maybe pop in over at Beth's. I don't know if anybody else is on. But have a good night. Thanks for popping in. It was nice to see you all. And let me know if you're going to try something like this. I think this was fun. And I think he'll be really cute once he gets his pages in there. Little decorated, little something to get my corners on. Oh, it has, Teresa. It's been so humid, right? It's so muggy. I mean, it just feels heavy outside. Thank the Lord for my air conditioning. Whew, I got to tell you. Yeah, it was nice to see you. I'm glad you're feeling a little better. That you're managing a little better with your symptoms. That's great news. That's great news. All right, have a good night. I hope to see you. And until then, don't forget, take time to be creative. Enjoy the journey. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.